Good morning. Good morning. It is a nice sunny Friday morning here in Northwest Georgia. So if you're out and about, I hope you find some time to get outside and enjoy the day. It's been a few days since we've had our last live video. We've had several things going on. I had an aunt to pass away last weekend, and we've been with friends and family celebrating her life and celebrating all that she's done to be a part of our family and let the family know we love her and we're definitely going to miss her. And with that in mind, that got me thinking a lot about what I wanted to talk about in today's video. And I want to talk about casting our cares upon Him, because we're not designed to carry the load. We don't have to carry the load. As a Christian, and a lot of people ask me, well, how can you be a hypnotist and a Christian? Well, it's pretty easy, because they work together well. A lot of people are under the misconception that hypnosis is something mystical, magical, demonic, satanic, and it can't be further from the truth. There's nothing about hypnosis that's demonic or satanic. Alright, the way it's portrayed in TVs and movies, that gives another whole idea of what it is, but that's just theatrics. That is just for entertainment. That is just for show. My doctorate is actually in biblical counseling. I've been a minister and a preacher for 35 plus years now. So there's nothing demonic or satanic about it. And with what we've done this week with our family, pausing to take a few minutes to celebrate my aunt's life and honor her memory, there's a lot of cares that we've had as a family, as her family, going through this time of loss and grief. But the thing is none of us were ever created to carry that weight of the world. We were not designed to do that. That job is already taken, and it's not our place to fill that job. But the thing is even knowing that, it has not stopped us from trying, right? You know, there are people watching this video now live. There are people that will come to this video later to watch a replay that are weighed down by invisible burdens. They have quiet fears, gnawing doubts, endless pressures to keep everything together. And in our most honest moments, we realize that those things are crushing us. Slowly, quietly, relentlessly crushing us. But 1 Peter tells us in chapter 5, verse 7, it says, to cast all our cares upon Him, for He careth for you. It is a command wrapped in compassion. He doesn't say some of your cares. He doesn't say not only the stuff that you think is spiritual enough. God says all of it. All of your financial stress, all of your broken relationships, all of your self-doubt, all of your fears, all of your anxieties, all of it. Your anxieties about tomorrow, your shame from yesterday, your guilt, your feelings of inadequacy. God says to cast all of it. But it's not just about dumping your problems and your burdens on God like it's a to-do list. It's about realizing that we were never supposed to carry these in the first place. Somewhere along the line, we bought into, we believed, we were programmed by the negative trances that I talk about all the time in my videos, that it's all up to us. That unless you worry, unless you fret, unless you stress about it, nothing changes or nothing gets done. And it's time that we wake up from that. Waking up from that negative trance and learning about our responsibilities versus our anxiety. And a lot of times that's where the confusion starts. You're thinking, well, if I don't worry about it, who will? Right? And that is a negative trance. That is a negative hypnotic suggestion that has been planted deep into your unconscious mind. And it's been planted there by culture, by society, by your upbringing, by your family, your friends. And in some instances, a twisted version of religious beliefs has created that negative trance. Responsibility is where we're supposed to actually do our part with diligence, with wisdom, and with humility. But anxiety is coming in and it's trying to do God's part with control and fear and exhaustion. Responsibility is us showing up. Anxiety takes over and it's over functioning. Our responsibility is stewarding our time, our money, our family, our resources, our calling, our purpose. And anxiety is obsessively in the background trying to control all of the outcomes that are not ours to manage. You know, if we feel like we're doing everything right, quote unquote right, but we're still mentally drained, we still emotionally check out, we feel spiritually numb, we've crossed that line. And now we're carrying those things that are not our job and our responsibility to carry. I see it all the time here in my office. Clients come in not because they're lazy, not because they're disengaged, but because they're actually overengaged in everything. And that emotional load is crushing them. And worst of all, they think that that's what faithfulness is supposed to look like. I promise you it is not. You don't prove your love to God. You don't prove your faith. You don't prove your strength by continually suffering silently under burdens that are not yours to carry in the first place. You prove your love, your faith, your strength by trusting the one that invited you to let it go and cast your cares upon him. You were never called to carry the world. You were called to cast your care. And a lot of times that falls under the illusion of control. Anxiety masks itself as control a lot of times. You worry because somewhere deep down you believe if you stop worrying, something bad's going to happen. That your mental vigilance is what's holding everything together. But it's not. That's a negative trance. It is a lie in your unconscious mind that if I let go, everything's going to fall apart. It's not, because you were never holding it together to begin with. The brutally honest truth, the things that you stress over the most, your child's choices, your partner's emotions, your job security, the state of the world, are the exact things that you have no control over. You can't control what your child does. You can deal with it once it's done, but you have no control over their choices and actions. You have no control over the emotions your spouse or partner have. You have no control over when you show up for work today whether you still have a job or not. It's not in your control. You can't control the state of the world, no matter how much you want to, no matter how many political memes you want to post on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and X and everything else. You have no control over it. And our obsessions with that false sense of control are not helping. They're what's hurting you. Worry does not protect you. It drains you. It does not prepare you for tomorrow. It poisons your today. And casting your care is not about apathy and indifference. It's about clarity. It's knowing exactly what's in your control and what's not. I've done a video before on that very thought, the dichotomy of control. What's actually in our control and not. And what's not in our control. And 90% of those things that we're allowing to keep us up at night are outside of our control. It's time to let it go. Not because it doesn't matter, it's very important. But because it matters too much for us to keep mismanaging it by an anxious mind. An anxious mind is not the best employee for that job. So we've got to learn to surrender. Now, I use that word surrender there because it's not just giving up. Surrender is not passive. It's not weak. It's not just giving up. It is a bold decision that you make. And it's one we're going to have to start making daily. A decision to say, God, I trust you. I trust you more than I trust my own control. And that's hard. I promise. I know that is hard. Especially for those of us that have been raised to believe that self-resilience is next to godliness. But there is nowhere in the Scripture, and I've studied the Scripture for 35 years in depth, and there is nowhere in there that I can find that God has asked me to be self-reliant. I find several places where He's asked me to abide in Him and trust Him. And that means that we have connection over control. That means that we can have trust over tension. Surrender, like anything else, is a habit. It's a rhythm. It's a discipline. And it starts small. You know, when your small children are acting out and you start to spiral into fear, wondering what everybody else is going to think, worrying about how they're going to judge you as a parent, pause, breathe, cast. Cast your care on Him. When your bank account dips lower than your comfort zone wants it to, pause, breathe, cast. If you're having an important conversation with someone and it goes sideways and these old wounds, these old triggers begin to flare up, pause, breathe, cast. And the more you do that, the more it becomes an unconscious reflex. Just like any other mental muscle memory, you'll find yourself saying more and more, nope, this is not one of mine to carry. It's not mine. I don't have to carry this one. And you'll be surprised in discovering how freeing this becomes. A lot of people tell me that it feels like they've dropped a 100-pound backpack. They've let that rucksack go that they didn't even realize they were wearing. They didn't even realize how much it was slowing them down. But the thing is, don't expect your unconscious mind to cooperate. At least not quickly, not right away. That old programming, that old negative trance, that old it's all up to me script that you've been running for so long, it's going to scream at you. You've rehearsed that thought, that word, that phrase for years. For decades for some people. And it's going to take some time and repetition to retrain your mind. And that's okay. Keep casting. So what does it actually mean to cast your cares? Let's talk about that word, casting. It does not mean laying down gently. It does not mean handing over with hesitation. It does not mean being very timid in how you do it. Casting means to throw something. It is an intentional, energetic decision to hurl your cares onto someone else. Like taking a heavy load off your back and tossing it into the arms of someone stronger, someone more capable, someone who, by the way, already volunteered to carry it. You don't cast your cares because you're weak. You cast them because he's strong. But this negative trance that many people have come under by their religious beliefs, I mean, we were taught things like, be strong, don't be a burden, figure it out on your own, then come to God when you've got it all together. That never works, right? God invites us to bring the mess, the tangle of emotions, the imperfect prayers, the I don't even know where to start moments, because he cares for you. Present tense. That verse, present tense, because he careth for you. Actively, always. Right here, right now. But we've been too busy carrying a weight around that we were never meant to carry. There are certain kinds of tired that even sleep can't fix. It's not just physical fatigue. It is that fatigue that you've experienced. You know, it's soul exhaustion. It's that inner weariness that comes from carrying those things we were never meant to carry. And if that's you right now, I want you to really pay attention and hear these words and allow them to sink deep within the very core of your being. All right? You are not lazy. You are not broken. And you are not failing. You're just overloaded with the load that is not yours to begin with. The pressure to fix everything, the need to be okay for everyone, the guilt from your past, the fear about your future, the voices that keep telling you you're not good enough, none of those are yours to carry. Jesus didn't say, come to me, all you who are crushing it. Right? Jesus didn't say, come unto me, all you that are hustling and grinding every day. Jesus said, come unto me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. So, let me ask you this question. What would it look like if you actually believed what Jesus said was true? What if you stopped identifying with your burden and started actually releasing it? The weight that you're carrying, it might be familiar. You may have dragged this weight with you for years, decades. But it's not your identity. It's not who you are. Your burden isn't your badge. It's an invitation. An invitation for you to surrender, to cast, to trust. So how do you do that? How do you do that? How do you incorporate that into a daily practice? Casting your care is not a one-time deal. It's something you do daily. It's something I have to do hourly. It's a rhythm of release. It's just like breath work, but it's for your soul. You exhale the stress. You inhale the truth. You're not alone. You exhale the lie. It's all up to me. You inhale the promise. He careth for you. And some days, casting your care is going to feel like war. It will feel like hell for you to cast your care on Him. And other days, it's going to be a blessed sigh of relief. Either way, we've got to do it. We've got to cast that care. One of the ways I find helpful is write it down. You know me, notebooks, pen, paper, analog. Write it down. Then speak it out loud. This fear that I have about my future, name that fear. I cast it on you, Lord. This situation I can't control, name it. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Tell Him, I give it to you, Lord. This pain that I've been carrying for years, it's not mine anymore. It was never mine to start with. And the thing is, this is not magic. It's not woo-woo. It's mindset. And it's changing a belief pattern that you've held on for years. So, you were not created to be anxious or burdened or broken. You were created to walk free. If the Son hath made you free, you are free indeed. But that freedom is not found by trying harder. It's found by trusting deeper. So cast your care. Don't carry it. Let go of the need to micromanage all of the outcomes. I understand. I know that's hard. But it's time to surrender the illusion of control. Separate what's yours to do from what's His to carry. And every time that old negative trance tries to pull you back in, the one that says you have to do it all, you'll realize what's happening. And you can speak truth. But this is not mine to carry. And then cast. Cast it on Him. Cast all of your cares on Him because He cares for you. Not hypothetically, not theologically, but personally. So let this be your reminder. You're not meant to carry the weight of the world. That job's already taken. And I hope that you found this video helpful. I hope it's been a blessing to you. If you found it helpful, leave me a like, leave me a comment. Let me know how it helped you. And if there are any topics or subjects that you want me to cover in a future video, let me know that too. And I promise you, I will create a video on it as a resource that you can take with you and use. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy helping people improve their mental health and mental well-being. So thank you again for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day. We've made it to Friday. The weekend's coming up. So get out and enjoy this creation that God has given us. And spend some time. Spend some time this weekend figuring out exactly what cares you need to be casting. And cast them all. Cast them all on Him. All right. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.